day 2 of this year's FIBA Women's AfroBasket. The Palais de Sport in Yaoundé, Cameroon is where the action is going down as Guinea tried to bounce back from yesterday's loss, taking on Egypt. My name is Silale Shani and I'm joined by the African Basketball Encyclopedia of Usher Komugisha. Now, Guinea had a tough first day in the office yesterday, going up against 11-time AfroBasket champion Senegal in a 100-31 blowout, and some of their star players getting into foul trouble early. Usher, how do Guinea need to bounce back from that loss and make sure they're competitors and not just participants in today's matchup?
Well, looking at Guinea warming up this morning, they look energized, they look like they're ready to fight and go again. And against Egypt, they face a very tough team that has not yet played a game in this tournament. Today is their first game, and Guinea would like to use the experience that they got from yesterday to warm into this fixture.
All right. Well, taking a look at see Senegal at the top of the table, followed by Guinea and now Egypt to play their first game of this edition of AfroBasket. Egypt coming in with fresh legs. Guinea having played yesterday. Which team has the greater advantage? Do you want to be the team that has already played a game in the tournament, or do you want to be the team that had the first day of rest and now is coming to take on another side?
Well, both teams have an advantage on that. Egypt had an opportunity to watch the game between Senegal and Guinea on the other hand also had a chance to make adjustments, and let's see how that works out for both of the teams.
And now we have the Egypt team lineup coming on to the floor. This is a very familiar team to us, Usher, yourself as Ugandan and myself a Kenyan, being both countries being in the Zone 5. We know what Egypt has to offer. What would you say is the competitive advantage in this game against Guinea?
Well, obviously, Egypt coming to this tournament as a wild card, same applies to Guinea. But Egypt, with a lot of quality, they've been playing together from some time. And one of the things that stands out for Egypt, obviously, is that the players, have come through the youth systems in some of the biggest clubs in Egypt, Al Ahly, Zamalek, Sporting, Alexandria. And really the fact that most of them also play 3-on-3 basketball. So Soraya Mohammed being, their key player there, and the return of Hagar Amir, their captain, who brings years of experience. And after taking a break from playing basketball to start a family, she's back with a bounce, MVP in the league back home, and that is really going to stand out for Egypt.
Guinea also showing some moments of great basketball yesterday against a tough team like Senegal. I think some players that stood out to me was number 7, Aisha Mara, number 13, Maseni Kaba, and Fanta Suma, who unfortunately got into foul trouble early. I'm expecting to see her have a better outing today. But let's have a moment as we listen in on the national anthems of both teams.
Nous commençons bien sûr par l'hymne de l'Égypte. Merci, mesdames et messieurs. L'hymne de la Guinée.
You have to wonder how it feels for Guinea listening to their national anthem, even as their country is going through some turmoil right now. But let's take a look at the list of referees there on your screens. In case you missed it, it's Okpeyemi Ogunleye from Nigeria, Dorothy Judy Okach from Botswana, and Jules Jopuo from Cameroon. And again, I always love the diversity of the referee officiating team. As I said earlier, Usher, Guinea, listening to that national anthem when there's a coup d'etat that happened in their country, it's just really so hard to block out the external distractions and plug into what is happening in a basketball gymnasium. And I think that's what really separates professional athletes from your average Joes.
Well, obviously that's what sports brings to the world, and you see that the players are trying to focus on the game and make their country proud and make Guineans very, very proud back home by representing to their very best ability. And we can see today that, you know, there's some additions to the team, and perhaps that will be the difference for Guinea today.
It just might be, but it's also good to see some familiar faces that we saw yesterday, especially players like Aisha Mara, that's the number 7 of Guinea. She had 6 points in yesterday's matchup. And number 13, Maseni Kaba, she had an impressive 8 points yesterday against a tough team like Senegal. But I think Egypt definitely have the competitive advantage. You're looking at the starting 5 there. And the team lineup, again, some players to keep an eye out for. Definitely Soraya Mohammed. You see head coach Ehab Elafi, his second consecutive outing with the Egyptian side. He was at the AfroBasket in 2019. And Egypt finished 7th in that particular tournament. Taking a look now at Guinea's starting 5, you see them number 7, Mara, and 13, Kaba. I'm not surprised that they are in the starting lineup. I would say that they're the star players for Guinea, and they're going to rely on them heavily in this particular matchup. Coach Usman Kamara, I had a conversation with him earlier, asked him how his team is feeling, you know, coming out after that loss to Senegal yesterday, and he said that they are motivated. They're experiencing a lot of challenges, and the team only had their first joint practice session yesterday morning. So I think that answers a lot of the questions we've had around the lack of chemistry that Guinea kind of had yesterday.
Well, obviously, when you think about, you know, everything and the team coming in different batches to the tournament, practicing for the very first time here, it just goes to tell you about sports because, you know, there are no shortcuts. If you meet a team that has been practicing for over a month and also played qualifiers, that Zone 5 tournament that was in Kigali, Rwanda, that had 4 teams is, you can say, more competitive than Guinea playing against Cape Verde in Conakry over 2 games.
Yes, indeed, and it's just a few moments to the tip-off. Again, another action-packed day of basketball ahead of us. The first of 4 games, Guinea taking on Egypt. And let's see if Guinea can squeeze out a victory this lovely morning in Yaoundé, Cameroon, to have a fighting chance to get to the qualification to quarterfinals round. Usher, what would you say are some of the keys, top 2 keys to the game for Egypt to make sure that they don't allow Guinea to have a run?
Well, obviously, they have to address the paint. They have to try and stop Kaba and Mara, who are very, very energetic and efficient inside that paint if given a chance. But obviously, Suma Fanta, the point guard, she has to be stopped. You have Rim Musa, who is a very, very decent point guard. She's very good on both ends of the court, and also she knows how to run the plays and also get her team to get organized and see how they can do a good job.
Just moments before tip-off. Again, hello once again, everybody, and welcome to Yaoundé, Cameroon for the opening game of day 2 here at Women's AfroBasket between Guinea and Egypt. We are celebrating 60 years of African basketball this year. And women's basketball, the inaugural AfroBasket tournament took place in 1966, and we've come so far in terms of organization, in terms of the talent that is put on display here. Guinea, who actually finished second in that inaugural tournament, are trying to be more than just participants, competitors as well. Long distance three from number 15, Fatou Ba, to get us started here. Guinea drawing first blood.
Very impressive from Fatou Ba, who plies her trade in Senegal for AM Memos.
Farida Aldenabi with the response. Looked like a long two. There was a three-pointer. Aldenabi now with a steal, gets it to Soraya Mohammed.
It is typical Egyptian style to operate with a full court press, steal the ball, and feed off those, you know, layups and easy fast breaks. They like to score like that, and Guinea have to be careful today.
Mara, finds the bottom of the net. Mara gets up on the board early.
Wow. So it is a shooting clinic this morning.
It is a shooting clinic. And you can see how comfortable she was taking that shot, you know, after getting a feel of the court yesterday. Those first game jitters are definitely gone for Guinea. Egypt now looking for their next field goal. Nice up and over for Ranim El Gadawi, excuse me. Kaba gets it to Jallo. Jallo almost losing the ball. And they get into the reliable hands of Mara. Mara fires from far in three-point land. And it was because the shot clock was winding down. Have a quick three-point shot from Mohammed. And it's a fast pace here at the top of the first quarter for both Egypt and Guinea.
When you look at how both teams have come off the mark, it is going to be an interesting game to see how they can match up each other on both ends of the court.
Bye. Wow, and there was a delay in trying to recover. I don't know why Kaba didn't just grab that ball. You could see that Ba was pinned down with her defender. And there's going to have to be a greater effort from Guinea there. Unfortunately, they're missing 2 players from their squad. I understand Usher talked to Coach Usman earlier. He said that 2 players are not feeling very well. Egypt definitely going to capitalize on that. And speaking of capitalizing, Mohammed taking advantage of that open space puts Egypt at 8 points. Guinea 6. Call a push on number 12, Farida Abdelnabi.
Well, with 3 minutes played and Egypt already have 3 team fouls, that is something they have to be careful about.
Kaba working her way in the post. That was good defense on display by number 34, Hala El Sharawi. And here come Egypt and Soraya on the other end. Oh, Egypt make it look so easy. Ranim El Gadawi all the way to the basket. Ba wide open at the top of the key, can't get that one to fall. Scooped up by El Gadawi. Soraya, nice feed to find Abdelnabi. And Egypt are looking very, very comfortable with their offensive motion right now. Ba. She's going to kick it out for that three-point shot by, yes. Guinea shooting 2 for 2 from beyond the arc.
It is actually 3 for 3.
That's impressive.
Interesting. So today they're not doing the layups, it's just the threes.
Baseline drive out to too short. Jallo now finds Kaba on the drive. Kaba has to finish those. Abdelnabi kicks it out to El Gadawi. They're going to call a walk on her. And have a substitution for Guinea. Ba out into the game is Mariama Diallo, but a timeout has also been called on the floor. Take a look at some of the highlights. Beautiful pass from Soraya Mohammed. You can tell Egypt have played with each other so long. They have that tangible chemistry. But let's head on down to the Egyptian timeout and listen to what Coach Elafi has to say.
On passe en 2-3. Juste, il y a Mariam qui rentre. Il est où Masseni. Masseni ici. D'accord. Là, on ferme. On laisse fermer. Après, si j'annonce 1, on repasse en 1. Si j'annonce 1, on repasse en 1. D'accord. On passe en 2-3. Juste pour se restabiliser. Après, on y va. Si on a des ballons, si on a des ballons gagnés, boum, ça court. Ça court. Ça court. OK. Allez.
C'est bon, je pense que tu as fait les bons champs.
Guinea trailing early, making a few adjustments. Coach Usman not putting pressure on the Guinean side. But really the first quarter has been a good show for Egypt. Soraya Mohammed there with a pretty dish.
She loves to make those ones.
Mara out to the baseline. Bai was feeling it, but that one doesn't fall.
That was a rush decision there. She still had time.
Farida, center lane drive. Shot fake, managed to kick it back out. And you leave that shot open for El Gadawi, and she will take it. She has no qualms about that, and you can see Egypt playing the traditional full court press and getting those quick baskets on transition. Pushed them to a 7-point lead already. 4 minutes and 46 seconds gone here in the first quarter. And time is really flying. Guinea are going to have to make sure that Egypt doesn't get too far away for them to have to chase the entire game.
Well, Mbai has to make sure that she gets that ball moving. And there's a substitution. Rim Musa replaces Farida. Rim Musa, also a fitness trainer back home in Egypt, is the leader of this Egyptian side. She brings down the ball.
Triple doesn't go for Egypt. It's rebounded. And here comes Guinea by with a poor pass to Kaba. And of course, Egypt capitalizing on that. Here comes Musa, kicks it out to Soraya at the wing. And Soraya slows it down, makes sure the team gets a chance to recover. Oh, that was a beautiful pass. Soraya Mohammed, 2 very nice assists for her in this first quarter.
She's a very, good player. She sees her teammates and she fits them very well, and that's one of her strengths. And also it helps that she plays 3-on-3 basketball, which is very fast. There's no time to think. You gotta move the ball. And Usman Kamara, the coach of Guinea, trying to make sure that his players understand that they have to play good defense without fouling.
Correct. El Gadawi can't make it a three-point play, but she has 8 points so far in this first quarter. On track to have a very, very nice game. Suma couldn't get that one to fall. She manages to get the rebound. She's going to go again. This time, it's good.
So Guinea scored their first layup in this game after dropping those 3 threes. And Fanta Suma brought off the bench today. That will be an interesting matchup between her and Rim Musa, both decent point guards.
And both very quick.
That's right, it is a very fast-paced game, this one.
Mohammed to Mohammed. Ball goes the other way to Guinea. Suma will inbound, and you can see Egyptian defense not giving them any space here.
Zero space indeed.
Jallo gets it over half court.
There's a double screen there, but she loses the ball. Egyptian possession.
I like the encouragement though. Kabaga giving her a high five. She had the right idea. The things will fall into place, but Coach Usman gives Jallo a break, and into the game checks number 10, Diawara. Musa gets it to Mohammed. Mohammed to El Sharawi. Gonna call a travel on her.
Hala. She's had about 2 turnovers, and the coach, Ehab, is planning to bring on Noor and Hagar, who are warming up. Guinea ball.
Just under 3 to go. Egypt up by 7. Guinea now in the bonus. So Mara will head to the line, try cut down this lead. And Mara had 6 points in yesterday's game, shot 75% from the free throw. She's a decent free throw shooter. You see she gets the first one to go.
You see how she follows through with that ball. It is, you know, basic basketball.
2 clutch free throws for Aisha Mara. And now a wild pass from Reem Musa. And the timing on those kinds of long passes has to be really impeccable. She wanted to reach the target. Diawara finds Suma. Suma gets it to Kaba. Kaba with a shot fake. Delayed a little bit too long, in my opinion. She should have just gone straight up. Could have drawn that foul, but
she was looking for balance. And, you know, with the dribble.
If she had, I think if she had just done that initial attack to the hoop, she would have still gotten the foul and possibly the basket as well. But she's a decent free throw shooter too. Averaged 66% yesterday.
She missed the first one. Let's see if she makes a second. Yes, she does. And Guinea are back into this one. It's a 4-point game, and Egypt take possession.
Soraya gets it to Amer. Amer trying to feed the post and just couldn't find the mark. And as a post player myself, Usher, one of the things that used to really bother me is when you've managed to get position in the post, in the low post, and the guard doesn't give you a good pass.
That doesn't look good.
I feel like that's a pet peeve of most post players.
Yes, except this time it was from a fellow big, you know, a fellow big from Noor and Hagar. But there was good communication. There was a thumbs up there. I understand. Let's do better next time.
I'm sure she will make the necessary adjustment as Mara was fouled on the floor. She'll go back to the line. And like you said, Usher, Guinea are making their way back into this game.
Very interesting. Now they know what works for them. Take the ball to the paint, get that foul, go on the free throw, and shoot. Because now Egypt will know that if they foul and Guinea go to the line, they'll make it count. And now it is a 2-point game, and Egypt.
Soraya Mohammed subbed out. She'll have a seat into the game's number 50, Yusra Taha. Musa now with the ball. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. We have a long three-pointer. That's short. Kaba with the rebound. Mara will bring the ball up, kick it back out. And it's just a bit too short for Diawara. And I think she had the right idea taking that shot. She did have space to take it. Egypt trying to see if they have the hot hand on the other end.
I feel that the Egyptian forwards are trying so hard to drop that three, yet they could just get into the paint and make those easy layups, or at least, you know, have their presence felt.
I mean, it's what has been working for them so far in this game. You know, they've attempted 8 times from three-point land and have not made any baskets.
Exactly.
So
this is why they need to calm down until they have proper space to take the right shot. Otherwise, they'll keep losing the possession.
Musa gets it out to Nurhan. Nurhan decides to go for the drive. The kick out to number 14, Hagar Amer. And that's what you were talking about, Usher. They need to have more touches. They need to get the ball inside. Those quick passes are going a long way.
Exactly, and it's worked for them. They just need to be consistent.
Oh, number 14, Mariama Diallo rattles it in. 2-point game with under a minute left to play here. And you can hear the Guinean fans shouting defense. That's a big block by Kaba. Ref has said play on. And that's one of Hagar's pet moves. She couldn't get that one to go. Hagar is back in competition after growing her family. And I always have an extreme respect for female athletes who go and have children, come back. It takes so much to get your body back into professional athlete shape. That's a massive kudos for her. Kaba gets a piece, makes sure Hagar doesn't get in position for that shot. Musa can't get that one to fall. And here come Kaba and Guinea on the other end. Decides not to go all the way with it. Diawara with a long two. Not the best shot selection, Usher.
Not the best, and also in the paint, Guinea have to do a good job to box out and get those rebounds. Otherwise, Egypt are having a field day with the rebounds.
Hagar with the last chance with a three-point shot, airballs it, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Egypt 20, Guinea 18 points. Guinea have managed to fight in this game and stay within reach from the Egyptian side. Taking a look at that beautiful block. I love defensive plays like that by Maseni Kaba. She's had a quiet night on the offensive end, but she's getting it done on the defensive.
And that's the beauty about, you know, basketball. If you don't, you know, get your shot right, or the layups are not coming on offense, you can play good defense. You can, you know, have your body in there, get the screens. We saw her screening for Diawara earlier. And, you know, that sort of energy and positivity is very good for the game. Looking at the statistics, Egypt 10 for 14 from the field and 0 from 10 attempts behind the arc.
That is a surprise to me. Egypt are usually fantastic three-point shooters. But hey, you know what? If the inside shots are working, they're falling for you, then you go for it. And same thing with Guinea. The three-point shots are working for them. They started out 3 for 3 at the top of the game. Missed the last 2. But I think if they have guards who are feeling the heat, you know, feel like they have that hot hand, they should definitely go for it.
And obviously, maybe it's a good thing for Egypt. It will finally drop. They just keep, looking for the right angle, and whoever gets it, they'll keep feeding them. But it's not a bad idea, perhaps, also to just try it out in the first quarter. They are leading the game with 2 points. Let's see if they can be consistent. Well, obviously, looking at both sides, what do you make of the game so far?
I think it's exciting to see that Guinea are still in it. By this point yesterday, Senegal was already head, shoulders, and maybe even waist above Guinea. But right now, I'm loving the fact that it's a close game, 2 points, differential between Guinea and Egypt. And it's nice to see that they're getting into a rhythm. Players who didn't really have a great night yesterday, Baye hitting those 3-point shots. I think it makes it for good basketball. You always want that element of competition.
Well, obviously, talking about that, as Reem Moussa fouls Aisha Mara, Egypt had 17 fouls in the first quarter. That is something that is worrying on their side. They need to look into it because it could be dangerous, especially if they're playing against a very good opponent that can test them and go all the way. And this is a close game. This is a close game that can be defined by free throws.
That's a very good point. Suma kick out to Mara. Mara decides to take that long three and way off the mark. That was a poor pass from Reem Moussa. It was poked away by the Guinean defense. Suma get that one to fall, and she's had some good looks at the hoop just to make sure she finishes. And wide open from three-point land, Nourala Abdelalim.
Finally, Egypt score from behind the arc. It will come.
She's getting it done on both ends of the floor. She managed to snatch the ball away, and we can see two players getting tangled up there on the court. And that's such a tricky one. They're gonna call the foul on Rima Moussa, but she was on the floor, Unless she rolled out of the way, it would have been a bit tricky.
Let's have a replay there.
Yeah, let's
and
have a
see
look.
what happened.
Oh no, she
that's
threw
why.
an elbow. She did
That's
throw
why.
an elbow. I truly have immense respect for the officiating team to be able to catch those small things. Very qualified referees here at this tournament. Mariama Diallo will miss the first free throw. And these are the opportunities that Guinea certainly need to capitalize on. She misses both. Put them 3 points away from Egypt.
The thing about free throws is really you are alone. You just need to focus, and every time, yeah, it is mental. It is always.
Suma pulls it out. It's good defense from Hagar Amer. And she'll inbound the ball. I'd love to see Fanta Suma be a bit more aggressive on the offensive end, not just looking to pass, but also to attack as well.
Well, as it stands, she's been dribbling so much. She needs to look up while she's dribbling and pass that ball, move the ball. But until now, she's not been able to master that art.
We're going to have a runner. It's good. Norhan Ahmed gets on the scoreboard. That's her first field goal for this game. And now Fanta Barrete loses the ball. Tries to get it back. Soraya Mohammed, right place, right time, easy buckets.
And Egypt are back to their full court press. Always works. and Guinea may need a timeout to figure out how to inbound that ball. But as we always say, screen, 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 get some people free and run the court. But the way Guinea are standing, it looks like they're going to do that.
It's true. Guinea will need to have a conversation about how to really have an effective press breaker, but Suma decides to take things into her own hands. She gets the ball across half court, but loses it once she gets over. And I think Coach Usman is just really going to have to have a conversation with his players about having a decent press breaker. It's clear Egypt are doing a fantastic job on defense, and the point guards are going to need help bringing the ball up.
Well, obviously, it's, you know, screen for someone, run, go screen for another person, not just screen then stand. And obviously, Egypt are doing a good job of double teaming whoever has
Ahmed.
the ball.
Money shot for Norhan Ahmed.
And she felt it. She really felt it. She saw it coming. And that's what we were talking about at the end of the first quarter, that, you know, yes, they miss 10 attempts, but once it comes, they'll keep rolling, and it could be the difference maker in this game. And it's quickly a 12-point game.
Soraya Mohammed sends her defender to the floor. And that would have been pretty if she'd made it, but they're going to call an offensive foul on Egypt. Ball will go back to Guinea. And they will do that initial screen for Suma to get the ball. But again, she's going to need help. She's going to need help bringing the ball up. Soraya Mohammed gets it wide open for Hagar Amer. She can't connect on that one. Here comes Fatoumata Jallow. Jallow almost loses it, tries to put it up. It was a wild shot, and Egypt definitely going to try and bring the heat back, but Abdel Alim was knocked down. Take a look at the replay there. They're going to call the foul on Suma, and she'll head to the bench. She had 4 fouls pretty early in the game yesterday, but that's her first personal foul in this game.
I mean, tournaments are about growing. Every day is an opportunity to grow, and I hope that Suma does that.
Nice dribble J from Ahmed, who has scored back-to-back field goals. Suma once again getting trapped. And Egypt are just doing a fantastic job with that full court press. Hagar Amer, no-go zone. That's what Kaba has to say about that. And Kaba, who has been silent for the most part today, is going to have to do a better job offensively. I think her confidence just isn't there. She has a slight hesitation before she makes a move. And if she would just go for it, she really could put up some serious points here for Guinea. Fanta Berete now getting stuck in almost the exact same spot. Baye decides to take the 3. It's a wild shot, but it's good.
Beautiful finish there, and she felt it. She had time. She squared off, and boom, 3-pointer.
Yes, indeed. Kadi Baye now 2 for 3 from beyond the arc. 6 points in this game.
And Fatou Ba comes on for Kaba, and there'll be a timeout.
Yes, there will be a timeout on the floor. It is an 11-point game here, almost getting to halfway point of the second quarter. Kaba on your screens. Has been a quiet offensive day for her. Let's head to the Guinea bench and listen in to what Coach Usman has to say.
D'accord. On refait l'autre fois. Ok. Mariana, qui est au milieu. D'accord. Là, sur le côté. Vérité. Là, sur le côté. D'accord. Camille, les galops. D'accord. Défense à 5, rebond à 5.
Elle, il faut bien
Partez
l'expliquer.
pas. Oui. Ici. ici. Et si ça sort ici, tu rentres. Tu rentres. Si ça sort ici, tu rentres. Ok? Allez.
Guinea 11 points down, but still plenty of time to change the scoreline. Egypt have been doing a fantastic job, as was really expected. They have the fresh legs, they have the talent, and they have the history of playing with each other for so long. Majority of their players play in Egypt's local leagues.
Actually, all of them.
All of them. And I think the only other team who has that kind of statistic is really Mozambique. Ahmed, this time, no good. Hagar Amer with the rebound, kicks it back out. And this good hands from Jallo. But they're gonna call the foul on her.
Looking at the replay there, Hagar fighting to get the ball, and there's 3 defenders around her.
Nice find in the post for Hagar Amer. And that's gonna be her 4th point of this game. You can hear the fans shouting walk, but ref didn't call it. By now at the top, trying to control the offensive situation. By tries to kick it out for the shot, but shot clock winds down, and Guinea are going to have to do a better job with executing those screens. The idea is good, but you see Egyptians defenders just getting right over the screener, and the guard is not having any space to execute or do anything really.
Well, obviously, Egypt know that Guinea only have 9 players today, so they'll have to tire them as early as possible, and that's part of the plan.
They're going to call a jump ball. That's good defense from Guinea. A good show of sportsmanship as they help Amer up. And I think basketball really is a game of reading how the defense is playing. I'm not sure that that pass into Amer was the best choice, as number 15 El Gadawi checks back into the game. She had 3 defenders on her, and they still insisted on passing the ball into the post.
There were so many other outlets there.
El Gadawi, in and out. Taha tries to keep it alive, but she steps on the line. Bai gets the ball into Jallo. And that's the help that they need to give each other to bring the ball past half court. It's good to see that they've made that defensive adjustment. We talked about the screen earlier as Kaba tries to knock it down from long distance. No good. And there's a wide open El Gadawi. Kaba tries to recover, and she fouls El Gadawi in the process. Ranim El Gadawi, you can see her with a fast break there. Kaba tries to get back and block her, but they called a foul.
Well, when you look at all these players and how much they've grown over the past 3 years, it's incredible to see that improvement, the growth, and the development in general, not just the players, but the teams, and also what it means for women's basketball in Africa.
Speaking of growth, El Gadawi made her debut with Egypt's senior team as an 18-year-old, just about 6 years ago at the Women's AfroBasket 2015, right here in Yaoundé, Cameroon. She hits her second free throw. Now Mara, who is back in the game, tries to kick it out to Bai. Bai, again, another three-point shot. We didn't think it was going to make it, but she knows that she has a hot hand, and she's going to take that shot. Doesn't matter who you are.
The follow-through is what was so beautiful.
It was indeed, and It was a long two. Same spot right there in that left corner.
That's her place.
That's her place.
And Mara knew it, dished her the ball, and boom. Wow. Beautiful.
That's a nice play by Nadine Mohammed. And Egypt will have to be careful with their fouling situation. Want to make sure you don't get Guinea back into the bonus. They'll call a push. A nice play, Nadine Mohammed there on your screens. Egypt now at 37, Guinea 23. Just under 4 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. I love Mbaya's shots, you know.
It's amazing. You know, the more you think about it, that was crazy. The timing, the way she just squared off.
And it's almost like she wants the defender to get to her. You know, there are those players who are really good with the wide open shot, and then there are other players who they need the person to almost be in their face before they make that shot.
It's really interesting. And that right there keeps Guinea in this game.
By now wants to screen. You can see this poor execution of it, but Kaba now at the top of the key. She decides to go all the way in.
That was good passing, though, from Guinea. They're growing into this game.
The finishing needs to be a bit better. That was a good drive and dish by Taha. And you can see her teammates approve of that play. You can see she kicked it out to Ahmed for the finish.
Bai looking for options. Gives the ball to Mara.
You know, with the full court press, where you don't want to go is right in that corner at half court. That is where the trap is the most efficient. You want to keep the ball in the center of the court as much as possible. And a good press breaker is making sure that the pass somehow keeps the ball at the center of the court. As you can see, Mohammed can't get that one to go. Seems the three-point shots are not falling for Egypt once again. Mara. One-on-one situation for her. She decides to go all the way, and I'd love to see more of that from Aisha Mara, who scores her 7th point of this game. Nurhan kicks it out to Salawi. El Gadawi can't find Taha in the corner. Bai will bring the ball up, and you see that's a good pass right there to the center of the court. Ba try and get it to Kaba. Kaba must do a better job in those screens.
Well, that double team there, it didn't work. There's a foul called on Farida. You know, it's a tricky, that double team. Because when there's movement and you're already behind the player with the ball, then it's a foul. There's no two ways about it. But Egypt are doing a good job. They'll be proud of their defense.
Mara hits the first free throw, much to the Guinean fans' delight. Gets the second to go, puts Guinea at 27 points with 2.5 left to go here in the second quarter.
It's very good to see the contribution that both Kaba and Mara have in this game.
Some good help defense. Big rebound from Abdelalim. And Mohammed managed to put up a quick shot as the foul is called on Ba, Fatou Ba. You can see that on the replay. But Guinea gonna have to do a better job of boxing out, making sure Egypt don't have those second chance points. Nadine Mohammed makes the three-point play. And both teams in the bonus, Guinea going to have to take it to them, get on the line since that's what's been working for them. Kaba, center court, gives the ball to Mara. Jallo decides to take a long three. She's fouled on the way up, and she'll head to the charity stripe to shoot 3. And it's good to see the replay. We talked about it yesterday. If the player ends up in the landing zone of the shooter, they will definitely call it a foul, even if they didn't necessarily bump the shooter.
And Noor is contesting that decision by the referee, but surely she knows the rule. It's as simple as that.
Guinea with the chance to bring this back to a 12-point game. Jallo doing a good job from the 3. She's a good free throw shooter, 3 for 3. Yesterday she was 100% also from the line.
That's very impressive. So if you have her and Mara shooting on the line, they have to drive that ball towards the Egyptian defense.
Exactly. And I really hope that Coach Usman can communicate that to them, or they can make that read. As Egypt now with 5 seconds on the shot clock, Soraya Mohammed puts one up. Big offensive rebound. But Egypt couldn't convert in that particular possession, still with a second chance to score. So Raya will inbound. You can see the referees having a conversation on the bench. I think they're making sure that the foul count is accurate. Taking a look at the big rebound from number 9, Nada Mersal. Couldn't finish on that one. And an offensive foul has been called once again. I'm just going to confirm who it is. It is on number 9, Nada Mersal. By with a no-look pass. Jallo now with a floating pass to Kaba. Kaba wide open in the paint. And 3 points for Kaba. And I hope that move will boost her confidence. But look here, Usher, again with the hesitation. She should just catch, forget about the fake, and go straight up.
When I saw the hesitation, I quickly thought about you and what you said before.
Kaba fighting for the rebound. They call a jump ball on that. That was a good play on both ends of the court for Maseni Kaba. I'll be curious to know which team she currently plays for. Ba gets it to Bai. Bai to Jallo. Jallo with a nice hesitation. Tries to get it to Kaba. Ba can't connect. Kaba with the rebound. Ba with a second chance. No. Kicks it out to Bai. Bai out to Jallo in the corner. Count it. No.
Wow. That
She's
was
off,
good.
but she will be rewarded with the trip to the line.
Again. Great ball movement. And I'm wondering what was Guinea waiting for all day.
Listen, we've
This is it.
We've seen that Guinea have it in them to put on a good show. I don't know if it's going to come with the experience, the warming up to the arena, but that was a good possession, good series of possessions for Guinea. And now we have Jallo back at the line. She has been phenomenal from free throw, and just as I say that, she misses. But really, she has scored all her free throws so far in this tournament except that one. Guinea now at 34 points, Egypt 42. 41 seconds left to go here before the end of the first half. A timeout has been called on the floor. Egypt trying to stop the run that Guinea's on. Let's have a moment to go to the bench and hear what Coach El Lafli has to say.
كل ما عايزه تعدي تعملي فاول تاني تاني مرة ياخدوا مننا 3 بوينت فاول في 3 بوينت 2 تايم. مفيش كونسنتريشن، ده مفيش كونسنتريشن. رنيم واقفة في النص، الكورة اتعملت لوب من ورايا. حركي رقبتك، لازم تشوفي مين وراك. افتر الدبل هنا، لما نعمل الدبل هنا بتطلعي يا ندى ليه؟ بس سوريا هي اللي فوق، سوريا هي اللي هتروح، انت اللي هتعملي روتيت مكانها. كونسنتريشن شويه، مفيش كل مره 2 بلايرز على الكوره، كل مره 2 على الكوره، وحش. كل مره بتطمعون في الجيم. اوعى تكونوا فاكرين هنكسب في اي وقت. الباسكت بول مش كده. اقعد زي ما انت. حركي برجلك شويه. بعد الدبل فلاي وذ ذا بول وروتيشن. ما تبصيش برقبتك.
Guinea have cut this lead to single digits just before the end of the first half. And Jallo, who has been phenomenal from the free throw line. You had mentioned it earlier, Usher, that if they attack and get to the free throw line, they can cut that lead.
Well, obviously, that's the beauty about free throws. I mean, it's a charity line. You know, it's free in quotes points.
Here, have some free points.
And that's something that Guinea really have, you know, managed to do. And there you have it. Good defense from Mbai. And it is a jump ball.
She's really giving the Egyptian front court a tough time. One of those players who you put that ball down and she's all over you.
Exactly.
That's good help side defense. Mohammed now kicks it out to Nadine Mohammed. Nada kick it out to Soraya. Soraya, hesitation. That's going to be short. A nice big rebound from Mohammed. Still couldn't get that one to fall. Jallo looking for the long pass. By gets it out to Mara. Mara for the three-point shot. My goodness. Aisha Mara. Allow her to reintroduce herself. She's having a phenomenal game as Soraya fires as well from deep just before the end of the first half. Wow.
Incredible finish to that second quarter. Fire, as you say.
30 seconds.
Wow, because when Egypt called the timeout, Coach Ahab was telling his players to rotate, pass that ball, give it to the big players, and they take it out, give it to Soraya. She tried to make that fast one, and it didn't go in. You know, Guinea took the ball, Mara fired the three-pointer, brought back Guinea into this game, and Soraya sealed it off with that three-pointer. Incredible.
That's just good basketball. We love to see it. Guinea 37, Egypt 45 points. We'll be back after a short moment. have allowed Cameroon to get away with this one as Otieno, ball rolls in and out. Great block from number 3, Ngukwal.
Getting introduced to African basketball here in Yaoundé with this Tunisian team.
That was a good move from Alima Dembele of Mali. Controlled the dribble well. Strong spin move. Veloso now trying to take it in. It's smacked away by Nkem. And Sarah Ogoke with a left-handed finish to get Nigeria to 58 points. Still very early in the first quarter. Suma loses the ball. Jeme on the other end. Nice dish for the finish by Dave Jai. Kalu punishing on the other end of the floor. Wow. A lot of people on the floor. My goodness.
What?
Tell them something, Odessa Chidham.
We have walked this land for a long time. We know how far we've gone, and we're sure of how far we can go. Unity is not just a word here. It's not just a spirit in this sport. It's the way we all move. We are proud of our art, country, family, language, and culture. We are united by basketball.
Welcome to FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup 2022.
Good afternoon from the Palais de Sport here in Yaoundé, Cameroon. It's the first game of game day 2 here. Guinea trailing 37, Egypt 45 points. It's been an exciting first half for both sides, and Guinea, who managed to cut down a lead that went as high as 12 points, brought it down to double digits. We've seen some impressive play from Guinea, who was just a night and day between the team we saw yesterday and today. But looking at some of the stats here, El Gadawi, 9 points, but there are 2 other Egyptian players on 9 points, Soraya Mohammed as well as Norhan Mohammed. So it's been a good distribution of points for Egypt, and they are a very offensively minded team, so no surprise there. For Guinea's side, Aisha Barra has been absolutely excellent. 14 points for her, and 5 rebounds for Kaba, that's the leader, and Baye at 4 assists. Now we do have to make a special mention to Kaba. She's been off on the offensive end, but has been really great defensively. She's leading the team in rebounds at 5, but she also has 2 blocks, has made some really clutch defensive plays for Guinea, and Baye, who has had a hot hand in the first 2 quarters at 8 points. Now I'm sure that confidence will carry into the second half. Usher, what has been your takeaway from the first half of the game?
Well, obviously, for me, it's been the outstanding performance of Ranim El Gadawi. She was among the tournament 5 at the Zone 5 qualifiers in Kigali, and you can see that today's performance is really just to show that she's consistent, and her presence in that paint is what is giving Egypt an edge in this game. Obviously, she has to deal with Kaba in that paint. It's not easy, but good job from Egypt, and staying humble and rooted in this fixture, even when it looks like they are the better side against Guinea.
Egypt have done an excellent job on the end as well during the traditional full court press. Guinea had a tough time trying to break that press and adjust to it, resulting in 14 turnovers for them. It was good to see how Coach Usman will make sure that they make the necessary adjustments there, but we saw the guards starting to pass the ball between themselves better and give each other help bringing the ball over half court. Mara, who is on her way, if she continues with this momentum, she'll be on her way to getting at least 20 points. But really, Soraya Mohammed, she's been silently great. She's had a good first half, and we're used to seeing, I think, higher offensive contributions from her. But you can look at that. She was at least 3 feet away from the 3-point line, still knocks it down. And that's just typical Soraya.
If there's anyone who can score from the half line, I dare say, it would be Soraya Mohammed. She's relentless, she's fearless, and she's always trying out things. And that's what, makes a player who has a big attitude and character, because that then defines the team of Egypt and what they're looking for in this tournament. They know that they have a lot of work to do if they are to enter the top 4 teams on the African continent, and that work starts now.
Good morning from Yaoundé, Cameroon. If you're just joining us, it is Guinea against Egypt, and what has been an entertaining matchup so far. Guinea and Egypt both in Group C, together with Senegal, as we have the first basket from Noor Mohammed. We talked about her earlier. She'll have 11 points now, leading Egypt in scoring. And Usher and I say it quite a bit. Third quarters are so important in the game of basketball. How you start them, how you finish them, can really make or break how you end up finishing the game ultimately.
And obviously now we have a 10-point game here in Yaoundé. Can Guinea stay afloat with Egypt, or will the North Africans run away with this one?
Soraya to El Gadawi. El Gadawi saw that red shirt in the corner and thought that was one of her teammates.
That happened yesterday, and what did you say?
I can't remember, but I'm sure it was a very sarcastic comment.
It was Otis Hewley.
By doing a heat check, seeing if she can still hit it from 3-point, and that was a good run down the floor by Mohammed. Rebound from number 14, Hagar Amer. And Soraya Mohammed's court vision is something we can talk about all day.
Well, FIBA named her the Cleopatra of Egypt, not for nothing. She has been the heart and soul of this team.
She's been one of my favorite African basketball players for at least the last 5 years.
Absolutely, her growth has been impeccable.
Amer hits that second free throw to put Egypt at 49 points. Here comes Mara and Guinea. The top of the third. By trying to shake off her defender. Finds Kaba in the paint. And I just wish she could finish those. She's so well positioned. Has the right looks, has the athleticism to make it happen. But speaking of making things happen on the defensive end, she has not disappointed. Great steal from her to give Guinea another chance to shoot. Mara to Jallo. Jallo into the paint. Kaba, they're going to call a foul on Amer. He's a bit too handsy with Kaba.
That's sort of the matchup you want to see in the paint between the two bigs. Look at that, the replay. Yep, she was handsy. And that's a foul. Guinea will rebound. Will inbound the ball, sorry. Mara.
To Mara. Mara back up top to Bai. Better screen by Ba. Ba into Kaba. Come on, Kaba. Let's go.
That was powerful finish from Kaba. And now you're starting to feel how you were looking for her earlier on offense. There she is.
And again, I'm really hoping that will inject a certain level of energy and confidence on the offensive end for her. She's been doing a great job on defense as Reem Musa with that back steps touches the sideline. Ball goes back to Guinea. I always root for post players. I can't hide
you
my
are
excitement.
absolutely biased.
I cannot hide my excitement. I love a good post move. I love to see post players operating well in the paint.
I think you and I need to go one-on-one.
Kawa coming alive here in the third quarter. It's a sweet shot from her.
She was keeping those ones for the second half of this game.
Clearly. Mohammed with the response on the other end, and that's a beautiful stroke from Soraya Mohammed. Musa picks up her fourth foul.
Wow, and to think that Musa came off the bench and she already has 4 fouls. And that's one of the things that's going to be very key for Egypt in this tournament. They are fouling way too much.
And really, it's unnecessary fouls as well.
Because in just the first half, they had 15 team fouls. That's a lot.
Bai to inbound. Tries to find Kaba. Kaba back to Bai. Kicking it out to Ba at the top of the key. Jallo now on the wing. Nice fake. Nice move. Just couldn't finish it. And Mohammed is going to push the ball on transition. It's a good read from her. She pulls it back out. Musa to Mohammed at the wing. Mohammed with the runner. And Guinea can do better defense than that. They cannot allow the Egyptian guards to have that wide open lane into the paint. Bai now to bring the ball up.
And there's a double team.
She stepped on the
and
line.
She stepped on the line. Pressure. Pressure on the ball.
And we know that that's, when it comes to the full court press, that's the hot spot. You do not want to get stuck in that corner. Musa to Mohammed. Up top to Amer. Amer doing it all for Team Egypt. And Mara now trying to get the ball back. Egypt.
Beautiful pass.
Good possession from them on the defensive end. And just when Guinea looked like they're getting a lifeline, Egypt showed them the experience that they have. Mara now the top of the key, splits the defense all the way and just can't get that one to go. Musa now on the other end, gets it for the nice mid-range shot, can't get that one to fall. El Gadawi, and now here comes Kaba. Kaba mishandles, almost loses it, gets it back in the post. And Guinea are going to have to slow things down. They're tired. You can see it, and when you see turnovers like that, it's a tired team.
Both teams actually look tired. There's been a lot of running in the last 3 minutes.
Yes, indeed. And while it's just past midday here in Cameroon, it's a warm day, so it is translating to a warm gym. Musa, good move. Rebounded by El Gadawi. El Gadawi can't connect on that one either. This time Mohammed gives it a shot, and she does a great job.
Well, obviously Nadine Mohammed very good at cleaning up for her teammates, and her movement is very impressive inside the paint, and she will be substituted, and on comes Norhan Ahmed, and it is a timeout. 17-point game. Let's see what Usman Kamara has to tell his players. We'll be listening in from their huddle.
C'est un combat à chaque fois, c'est un combat à chaque fois. Ok? Il faut qu'on reste combatif chaque fois jusqu'au bout. Jusqu'au bout. Passe, passe, les rebonds. Non. On reste encore sur un but ça change après. On reste toujours sous zone encore. Ok? On reste toujours. Pression. Là, on ferme, on revient vite. Mais c'est partir et revenir vite. Partir et revenir vite. C'est pas partir, après revenir tranquillement. Partir et revenir vite. Partir et revenir vite.
Les ballons à terre, là, on se couche dessus.
Ballon à terre, on y va. Allez.
Allez, allez.
$18 bench points for Egypt, and that's just a testament to how deep they are. Guinea with not that kind of luxury.
Well, obviously that was always going to be in play here, as Guinea have only 9 players available for selection today.
Nadine Mohammed, 15 points. She'll have a seat. Well-deserved rest. Bad pass. Mar manages to keep it alive. Tries to find Ba. And again, stolen by Soraya Mohammed. She'll give a behind. No look pass. And it was a great move as Jallo kicks it out for the shot. That's off Ba with the offensive rebound and the putback. Fatou Ba, one of the veteran players of the team. That's her 3rd point for this game. See Egypt on the other end trying to get fired up. It's a big rebound from Mariama Diallo. Ba out to Mara. Mara misses everything. And I think she just didn't have the legs for that shot. Soraya Mohammed with the runner! And you let her get into that paint and she's gonna make you pay for it.
She's a superstar. Cleopatra. 17-point game.
Bai takes her 3-point shot. And she knows it.
She's just a show-off.
She's making it rain in here.
She loves it. And the follow-through for me is what is beautiful.
Points from Bai. Norham kicks it out to Soraya Mohammed, who can't hit the target. Here comes Jallo. Kicks it out to Mara. Mara, hesitation. Takes the mid-range shot. It's a good look. Just couldn't connect. Egypt now putting the speed on Musa. Beautiful mid-range jumper from Reem Musa.
It is end-to-end stuff here, and you love to see it.
Jallo couldn't maintain the possession. Slapped away by Soraya Mohammed. Well, off Jallo, and Egypt will have the possession. Jallo will go to the bench to have a seat, as well as Mara, as Fanta Berete and Fanta Suma check into the game. Soraya Mohammed, who has been absolute money for this Egyptian side. 12 points in this game so far, and the wind to do so much more. That's a good pass into the paint from Rima Musa. Good read on the defense.
Very good eyes.
Find Abdelalim.
Impressive.
Suma manning the flow of the game. Have a shot from Jallo off mark. Fatouba with the rebound. And they'll call a foul on Hala El Sharawi. Fatouba will go to the line to shoot 2. Ba knew she was off in that shot. I lean like that too when I miss my free throws. Willing the
like
ball
you see it
to
coming.
go in the hoop.
Yeah.
Ba can't connect on both free throws. Soraya Mohammed decides to take the shot. Got it. Egypt now off to the races here. 20-point lead, 14 points for Soraya. Fanta Berete thought someone was trailing her. And it was a turnover. Soraya Mohammed and Egypt doing a great job in this third quarter. Foul has been called on the floor. Fanta Berete. Take a look at that replay. It's definitely Fanta Berete. 1 minute and 54 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Egypt with a 20-point lead, and they have been the better team for the most part in this game. Nice kick for the finish. Nurala Abdelalim.
That dribble gave her enough power to go up and finish strongly for Egypt.
Mara out to Suma. Suma off the mark, manages to get the rebound, but couldn't keep her hands on it. And now here comes Reem Musa and Egypt to extend the lead even further. Musa, nice hesitation and the kick out for the three-point shot. Ahmed, count it.
Nurhan, she has found her rhythm in this game, and the diversity of this Egyptian side is brilliant.
Mariama Jallo should have probably used the board on that one. And Guinea really trying to put up a good fight here.
And let's look at that. Power, precision, brilliant from Nur Abdelalim.
Excellent rotation. Mara from downtown, can't get that one to go.
And there's no one to rebound. Reem Musa with the ball.
Musa to Abdelalim. Abdelalim fouled hard on the floor. She sells that one really well. She'll earn a trip to the line. And the offensive woes continue for Guinea as Egypt.
They look like they're running away with this one. 71-46. 72 now.
Egypt have done so well in this third quarter.
They'll be proud of that performance. Here you are with Aisha Mara, loses the ball. Soraya picks it to the basket, and it's a 2.
Soraya Mohammed makes that layup and sprints back on defense. That's something that every coach wants to see from their players, as Kaba tries to work her way to the paint. Kicks it out to Mariama Diallo, and Diallo will be fouled hard. It won't be a shooting foul, but so Guinea will inbound. Diawara to inbound, tries to find Mara. Mara loses the ball, and now they'll call an offensive foul on Hala El Sharawi,
who did not even have the ball.
She didn't have the ball, but she was jostling with Diawara as they were running down the floor, and I think she
exactly
kind of held her to make sure that her teammate Norhan
finishes
Ahmed,
on the other hand,
has that open shot, open lay-in. Guinea now in the bonus. Diawara getting the ball.
Very smart play there from Soraya on defense, and it's about the court awareness that you have to give it up to her.
.14 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Musa. Diawara on her.
Good defense. Nice dish.
Wow.
Beautiful
Egypt showing
finish.
Again and again their versatility. And they had a slow first half from the three-point area, but this half they're kicking it off with a bang.
It's really important to understand that Egypt have been practicing and training for 3 months together, 1 month before the Zone 5 qualifiers in July. And since then, they've been, working out every day to try and see how they can break into the top 4 teams on the African continent. And for them to start this way against Guinea is really to send a strong message and say that, yes, we're not yet there, but we are working to get there.
Egypt, who had no three-pointers in the first quarter, have now come alive, shooting 25% here in the third. And it's just a testament to their versatility. First quarter they were really scoring those mid-range shots and lay-ins, and now they've adjusted, which makes them a difficult team to scout at times. But really the lady of the hour is Soraya Mohammed, who has been absolutely phenomenal for Egypt at 16 points. She's getting it done on both ends of the floor. Guinea struggling here in the third quarter. Just 9 points scored. Egypt scored 33.
Egypt scored 33, limited them to that. And also speaking about Soraya Mohammed Gedeidi, she has 16 points, 7 rebounds, 5 steals. That's the kind of player you're looking for. And as a captain, she is leading by example.
Indeed she is. Soraya Mohammed is no stranger to the All-Star 5 with several tournaments. And you can see exactly why. Her consistency throughout the last decade has been so impressive, and her growth as well from a junior player to now what we can start calling her a veteran player, based on her experience and knowledge of the game.
And that's the beauty about it, because at 26 you want to be in the conversation about the team, and that's what basically she's doing, and to also try and be selfless in that position.
Abilalim to Soraya. Soraya gets it back up top to Musa. Musa with the drive. She'll be fouled on the floor. And Diawara has to be careful. Taking a look at the replay, she was clean beat and decided to go for the foul. But it's her first personal foul in this game, so she does have some fouls to give. Musa now, top of the key, yes! What a block from Mara.
Mara is saying, not in my house, not here, not today, maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. Good defensive play from Aisha Mara. We're gonna call another offensive foul on Hala El Sharawi. That's her second offensive foul. In just about 2 minutes of play. Suma now bringing the ball up. 22-point lead for Egypt. Nice find to Mara in the paint. And Mara
makes it very easy.
And now with 16 points for her. Ahmed almost loses it. Musa manages to keep it alive. Soraya finds Ashrawi in the paint. Good move, couldn't finish it. And now they have to contend with the Guinea defense. They're gonna call a jump ball. Guinea with a good recovery defense. And now Suma to bring the ball up, kicks it out to Berete. Berete at the wing, back to Suma. Kaba wants it in the paint. There are 2 defenders on her. If she could just see the wide open Berete, no. Mara now kicks it back out to Kaba. Kaba can't finish it, and they'll call a foul on her.
She was too late.
She was too late. And that will be her third. Again, those are the shots that you don't want to miss, those mid-range jumpers. But Kaba, who has played this entire game, surely she must have high levels of fatigue. It's not an easy, tall order rather, for Guinea. Walk's going to be called on Reem Musa.
She found herself in a very difficult position on the best line, and there was no way out.
Diawara, kick out to Mara. Mara with a shot fake. Finds herself in the paint, kicks it out for that baseline shot. Canterbury can't connect on it. Ashari, El Sharawi. Now Diawara on the other end. Just didn't have the legs to finish it.
Diawara and Hala need to have a conversation with both hoops at this point.
I can't blame the hoops today.
What are you blaming exactly?
I think it's fatigue. When you see the ball kind of roll off the rim like that, that means you're not giving it the arc that will give you a higher percentage shot. And these are players who have put in some heavy minutes, you know. Looking at Kaba, 27 minutes played already. Jalo, 22. Baye, 22. Mara, 25. Those are heavy minutes in a tournament where if you go all the way, you're going to be playing 8 games, almost back-to-back.
That's right. And with not so much training for the Guinea side, that's understandable as Kaba heads to the free throw line. There's the fatigue you're talking about.
It's always evident at the free throw line. Kaba can't hit that first one. Gets the second one to go. And Guinea now at 49 points. Musa, who has put in some good minutes, gets the ball out to Abdulalim. Abdulalim kicks it out to Ahmed. Ahmed couldn't get it to go. Mara almost loses the ball. Kaba keeps it alive. Berete out to Suma. Top of the wing. Took a good look at Kaba. Kicks it out to Berete for the 3-point shot. Off the mark, Kaba with the rebound. Can't finish that one either. Musa pushing the ball up. Transition does a great job with that one-on-one play. Gets it to Amer. Amer, they're gonna call a foul on Kaba. And Kaba, that is her 4th personal foul. And if she goes to the bench, Guinea are going to sorely miss her absence. Hagar Amer putting Egypt now at 81 points. Kaba absolutely exhausted. You can see her walking up the floor. Mara loses the ball to Reem Musa.
Brilliant play there. Nurhan lays up easily from a Reem Musa pass. Kaba.
Touch it out to Mara. Mara behind the back. That would have been a great move if she just finished it, but she's fouled on the floor, and we know that she's a great free throw shooter. So it's a win-win for her. Managing to split the defense and get to an advantageous position. Mara, who has 16 points so far, 17 now. The top scorer for Guinea in this particular matchup. Two clutch free throws for Aisha Mara.
She's been immense for Guinea. Core player indeed, her and Kaba. But for the consistency, it will be Aisha Mara.
Pass is too hard. It's stolen back by Fanta Berete. And here comes Bai, who has been shooting so well in this game. She's back on the floor. Mara about to lose the ball. It's a good fight from Reem Abdelalim. Hagar just couldn't finish that lay-in, and they're going to call a jump ball. Go to that replay. Typically, she's quite good at finishing those plays. I'm telling you, Egypt must be doing the Mikan drill 50% of their training sessions because they're just so good at finishing at the hoop. Speaking of finishing, Reem Musa.
Well, it's the beauty of having players who've played the game for a very long time from when they were toddlers. The youth systems back home in Egypt are incredible. And you can see that in the way they handle the ball, the way that they move.
They're going to call a push on Farida Abdelnabi. And again, we really have to commend the fight that Guinea have put on display today, despite all the challenges that they do have, as Hagar steals the ball and brings it up the court, gets it out to Musa. Musa, personal training behind the back pass, kicks it back out to Hagar. Hagar with a spin move, and she's fouled.
And it is a foul on Fanta Berete. So Kaba can breathe.
I actually thought it was on Kaba.
She thought it was on her. She was ready to head to the bench, but she still has it in her. One more free throw. Good follow through from Hagar Amer. As Guinea inbound the ball, Bai brings it down, passes it to Aisha Mara. You keep talking about not being in that position, but Aisha loves to dribble on the sides. And sometimes she ends up being double trapped.
But I mean, as one of the guards, and a lot of times the point guard, she really has to be able to recognize what is happening on the floor. and know which places to avoid. Again, basketball is a game of reading trends, reading the offense, reading the defense, and then adjusting to that. They're going to call another foul on Fanta Berete, who has picked up 2 in the last 1 minute. Tried to slide in to help, but caught the Egyptian player number 12, Farida Aldanabi, on the hip. Egypt are now in the bonus, so every time Guinea fouls, Egypt have a chance to get to the free throw line. So Abdelnabi misses her first one.
Let's see if she can make the second.
Rattles that one in. And Egypt now with a 30-point plus lead. Bai gets it to Fanta Berete. Berete kicks it out to Suma. Suma almost a mishandle. Kaba is going to take her defender. Mano Imano just couldn't get the right position. Tries to put it back up. There's a hard foul on her. They're going to call another one on Reem Musa. And that's going to be her 4th. But Elalfi is not going to pull her out.
No, he won't.
He's going to keep her in the game. Kaba just gets one free throw by Berete with the offensive rebound. Mara now on the other side of the court. Cross-court passes are so dangerous. But Guinea managed to stay with the possession. 4 minutes, 7 seconds left to go here before the end of the game. Bai to inbound. She's going to get out to Berete. Berete now with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Gets it to Bai. Bai's going to have to fire off a wild one. This one doesn't fall.
Bai's attempts are always interesting to watch, but this time it doesn't drop. She's trying to beat the shot clock.
And yet she shoots like that every time. Like every shot looks wild, but they fall in.
Did.
Amer gets it out to Abdelalim. Musa off target. She manages to get her own rebound. And nice find for Amer to finish it. Drew in the defense and kicked it out. Suma now on the other end. Mara with the ball. She's calling for the screen. And I don't know what Mara's plan was there.
She lost concentration for a bit, and
case in point, Usher, Guinea is exhausted.
Exhausted, tired, spent, whatever adjective you feel like. And specifically for Aisha Mara, she has been incredible for her team. And you can see for a player who's played 29 minutes so far, 43 seconds, that is intense. She's done everything to make sure that her team wins, but it's been tied. And looking at the scores so far in this 4th quarter, Guinea with 6 points, 12 for Egypt. I mean, it's been going downhill for Guinea since the game started. And Egypt definitely ran away with it in the 3rd quarter, scoring 33 points and limiting Guinea to 9.
Ou bien on a le jeu rapide, on y va, ou bien c'est passé, tout le monde joue longtemps. On fait le jeu, ok? Allez.
Unfortunately, that's what happens when you have a team that does not have a deep bench to start off the first half well, and then the fatigue starts to set in right at the end of the third quarter, which is kind of where Egypt managed to really extend their lead. And now with 3 minutes, 17 seconds left to go in the fourth, it will be tough for Guinea to cut down that lead and even out the score with Egypt. Clutch free throws for Hagar Amer.
And there you have, obviously, a female coach at this tournament. Impressive always to see the addition of coaches in this tournament. She's a former captain of Egypt, Aliyah Mohammed. And that's something we're going to highlight in this tournament, the female coaches who are especially in assistant roles, and to see them grow into the game. And obviously for Aliyah, as former captain of Egypt, not so long ago, by the way, about 5 years ago, she was playing with some of these players, including Hagar Amir. And now to see her, getting into the rhythm is a thing of beauty. She's also coaching the underage group at Al Ahly back home in Egypt. And talking to her earlier, she's saying that she's very excited to be part of the technical bench here in Yaoundé.
Incredible strides for her. I actually played against her. She was a great player then. I'm sure she's going to be a great coach now, and it would be so exciting to see her move into the head coach position in the future. I think that's really when we can truly celebrate. I'd love to see more African female basketball coaches at these major tournaments.
Yes, and there's so many of them coming up, across all the teams. It's just for the national federations to trust these players, and also really for them to earn their places in those positions. You have Ndindi Madu, former player for Nigeria, serving in that assistant role for Nigeria at the Tokyo Olympics and also at the AfroBasket 2 years ago in Dakar.
13 points for Kadimbai. Egypt now on the other end. Nada with the ball. Throws up a wild one. Can't get that one to get to the target. Suma now in that dangerous corner manages to wriggle her way out. Mara now for the three-point shot. Can't get that to fall. Kick back out to Mbaye. Mbaye not lucky on that one. And here comes Mohammed to find Nada inside the lane for the easy two-pointer. Kaba trying to create some space, gets it to Mbaye. Mbaye to use the screen and to take that three-point shot. This time, way off the mark.
Are you ready to have the century conversation? Oh no.
Oh, they're gonna get to 100. We don't even need to have a conversation about it. They'll get there.
I was just waiting for you to ask me, but clearly you had other plans.
And we have seen some big blowout games in this tournament so far. And really a separation of which teams are properly prepared. And this is a kind of a classic example here. Egypt, who had enough time to prepare, enough funding and support from the federation to the government. On the other hand, Guinea, who are going through some difficult times right now, it translates to what happens on the floor. You might think it doesn't, but it affects so much of how players can prepare. And again, classic example as Kaba kicks the ball out and the possession goes back to Egypt.
Well, you speak about preparations. These are some of the things that we need to talk about, and how countries should invest more in preparations, because again, there are no shortcuts. This is sports.
There are no shortcuts. Abdelalim all the way to the basket. Can't get that one. Fight for the rebound by Ahmed. Kicks it out to Nadine Mohammed. Yes! Nadine Mohammed, who is putting on a show today. That is 20 points for her.
Obviously, as a starter, that is impressive. Coach Ehab will be happy with that performance. And she picks the rebound.
That's a good drive by number 9, Nada Mersal. And a good find. And you've seen a lot of the Egyptian front court have been getting the ball right. That exact same move, that cross-court cut to find them on the other side of the basket. I'm sure that's something they practice a lot on.
Well, that's the impact of practicing the weave.
Oh, Mara making sure that her presence is still felt, even though there are just 36 seconds left here before we call the end of this game. Nadine Mohammed now with the ball at the top of the key. Just enough time for 2 possessions. Nada tries to muscle her way to the hoop, but a foul is called on the floor. Nada will shoot 2. We'll take a look at the replay there. I think they'll call it on Fanta Berete, but yeah, that's the play we've been talking about. That cross-court cut, and the guards know they will find someone consistently right there in that pocket. 101 points for Egypt, joining Senegal and Nigeria. Did Nigeria hit 100? Let's take a quick look here. There were 2 teams that hit 100. It was Senegal and Mali.
Senegal, Mali.
Who crossed the 100-point mark. Very high scoring games here at the 2021 AfroBasket.
And you have Egypt joining that elite class.
The 100 club.
The
Fanta
100
Berete
club.
at the line, misses the first free throw. Misses the second as well. Guinea stay at 57 points, but stay with the possession. 12 seconds to go here. Jallo will inbound, get it to Kaba. Kaba tries to kick it out, but there's a push just before she does. Guinea in the bonus, so Kaba will go to the line. Opportunity to make it 59 points for Guinea. Guinea, who got a silver medal at the 1966 edition of AfroBasket. Since then, it's been a very tall order for them to get even to the middle bracket of these kinds of tournaments. Came to this edition of AfroBasket after they were awarded a wild card by FIBA Africa. They played some qualification games against Cape Verde, who are also in this tournament. They'll play later tonight, the last game of the day actually, against Kenya. And that will take us to the end of this game. Egypt 102, joining the elite 100 points club. Guinea 58 points today, scoring a little bit better than they did yesterday. They scored 31 against Senegal. Today it's 58, slight improvement on their side. But unfortunately, that means that Guinea will not advance to the next stage. Usher will confirm that for me. Make sure that our viewers understand how the game schedule works and how you proceed.
Well, obviously, you can see that it's been a very intense game for Guinea. Looking at the statistics, they were good on the free throw line, 63%, 19 for 30. And if you look at the rebound situation, Egypt over-rebounded them 53-36, 17 steals for Egypt. Wow, that was very good defense. To be honest, Egypt have played incredible defense here today, and this is just the beginning. And we can see the Egyptian team, you know, being cheerled on by some of their fans, and some of them are traveling fans that came all the way from Cairo, and some family members as well.
That's such a treat.
But what a, you know, performance from both teams.
Such a treat to have fans come and visit and cheer you on in a foreign country, get a little taste of home. But what a fantastic game it has been for Egypt, who had a great victory. And Usher is explaining to me that it's not the end for Guinea. They still have a chance at the qualification to quarterfinals rounds. We'll find out who they'll play against probably by the end of today. Soraya Mohammed did such a great job, but as well as the front court, we've seen that play on your screens right there at least 5 times this afternoon. Usher said it's the 3-man weave and the general weave that allows for that kind of play and that kind of movement. But Egypt, really, they've played with each other for a long time, and that came across very clearly to me in this particular matchup.
Well, obviously, you're very right about that. Egypt have played together from, you know, the under-16s, the under-18s, and also back home. They play together in so many tournaments, but like I also said, they've been together since June. Since June, they practiced for a month before going to the Zone 5 qualifiers, and when they came second to Kenya, they also went back home again in July and have been practicing since then. So that time together in residential camp is very important for any team to do well. And obviously they have a technical staff that expects so much from them. They have to deliver, and they're fighting literally to be among the top 4 teams on the African continent. And this is an introduction to the tournament to say we're here and we mean business.
Great to see them advance to close to the bracket. And there you have the standings. Senegal now at the top, Guinea at the bottom, meaning that they will play the second position of Group D on the 22nd. Those are your final scores on your screen. Egypt 102, Guinea 58. There's still lots more of great African basketball action later on today. We'll see you later.